Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, very valuable guest, and Mr. Sleeping Swan, wake up, Swan! That's something I'm going to come back to. I think we need to wake up that swan. My job as general evaluator is to evaluate everybody who's been up to speak but has not had an evaluation so far, so that nobody, except me, great, but you can evaluate me over breakfast. And also I'll make one or two comments about the meeting as a whole. So starting, the very first impression coming in, I was greeted by Rakesh and Trang Lee, very friendly, very efficient. A suggestion might be, if you know who the guests are likely to be, have one or two badges downstairs so the guests can maybe get into the lift with a badge on, just a thought. Next, our president, Aaron Wood. Aaron presented a very clear purpose of Toastmasters. He went straight in, and I think that's a comment I'd make really. I think we need to have our energy built up. We need to get used to Aaron's voice, we need to get a little bit of pace, and I think Aaron could maybe pause and do a little bit of work on that, a bit of a wind-up, if you like. And generally speaking, actually the word avuncular, so thank you very much for avuncular, I just love that one. Aaron, yes, I've always been called avuncular. The avuncular style, as has been said, is a little dangerous. It's a little bit low-key, so think about that, Aaron. Matt, our Toastmaster, I enjoyed the explanation of the structure of the meeting in advance, very, very clear. Something I would recommend for Toastmaster generally and something that Matt needed, I think, reminding is, in the silences, the voting and the feedback, keep centre stage. You may think that nobody's noticing, but people, particularly the camera, notices a vacuum in the middle of the room. I liked the mentor theme. I thought that was very, very good. I think it's good to have a theme, and Matt introduced people very, very well. On to our Sergeant at Arms, Baz Zoot. Lovely smile the way Baz came out. I would like from Baz more authority. The Sergeant at Arms actually is a very important role. Actually, it's the person who gets stuff done. If we had an emergency or any trouble, it's the Sergeant at Arms. So more authority. Don't apologise for anything. Being late, obviously, I wouldn't have known Baz was late if he hadn't told me. He was apologising with his hands, wringing of hands and stuff like that, jumping around a little bit. And also, wake up that swan! More volume. The voice was going down rather than up. On to Rakesh. Smiles, very friendly. I like that very much indeed. Explain why time. I think if you're here for the first time, why should we do that? It is important to control time. A little bit of an explanation, maybe with some funny quotes or whatever. And once again, the volume. Talk to Richard Fallow in an excellent workshop on Saturday, and he talked about how to I think waking up the swan would work quite well, and certainly get the voice going up at the end of sentences rather than down. I think we're sort of lulled into a sense that this is a very intimate space, and therefore we can talk really quietly. It's not doing anything for us, particularly for me, because my hearing's not very good. I liked the friendly insistence of Rakesh when he was ringing the bell. He was smiling while giving bad news always works well. Trang Lee, our linguist, took the stage very, 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 very well. Once again, volume. Need to hear more from Trang Lee. Speak up. And also, I believe that Trang Lee needs to work on the clarity. And there are some excellent exercises which I took the sheet away from Saturday, actually enunciating the English words. I think some practice is required because not everybody understands, I think, every word that's being said, and we would like to understand every single word. Super word of the day, change, and I love the smile, I really do. So don't listen to what people say, smile, and you can change the smile occasionally. Sue Chang, lovely to see you back. Good volume, so the swan woke up immediately and nearly flew off. I like that very much indeed. A good explanation of the session. I would like to see Sue Chang pause a little bit more. And we've already discussed this, but I think it's worth mentioning for everybody else. I believe if you can give a guest a chance to speak, I think it's a good idea. Occasionally guests don't want to speak, but I think very often guests wouldn't mind, and that people remember their first visit to Toastmasters saying, oh, it was wonderful, I just loved the chance. So I would say, if you get a chance, I can understand the topics weren't good for someone who's never been here before, but wonderful links between the speakers as well, Sue Chang, I like that very much, and the topics were just brilliant. Sorry that Claire's not here to hear this, but body language was her theme really, and generally speaking she does use her body very, very effectively, and her recommendations were very much around body language, where it was effective and where it wasn't. I would like to see from Claire more energy. I know she's got it. More bounce and a little bit more variety in volume, and but she had a lovely smile, and Claire is always, I think, graces our meeting. Dimitri, our first evaluator of prepared speeches, good smile and good eye contact. Dimitri did, however, I think, address William pretty much exclusively. And that's something to bear in mind when you're an evaluator. The evaluation is for all of us, not just for the speaker. The speaker hopefully will gain most, but we all need to feel included with that. Dimitri, once again, keep that swan awake, okay? There's nothing wrong with speaking loudly. It doesn't give a problem, any problem at all. And you made very good use of ums all the way through, so watch that in future, Dimitri. But I enjoyed that's your first evaluation, I think, isn't it? So congratulations on that. I think it's brilliant. And very good recommendation on the structure. I think I can tell the engineer in you that was actually analysing the structure very, very well, and you spotted, as some of us did, right at the end. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. You know, that could have come in the beginning. Mark, I liked the way that Mark came out and paused, showing great confidence in his opening. Use of notes, you're probably finding them irritating as well. I don't know whether it can be, I know some general evaluators manage without notes, but Mark's notes somehow were spoiling the experience of watching him, really. So I'm not sure how to recommend, but just a comment that they were getting in the way. Could you have done the speech without notes? I don't know. We were thinking about that. But overall, Mark's evaluation, I felt, was very encouraging and demonstrated that he had enjoyed the speech and listened very, very carefully. I think that brings me to the end of the speakers. No, Ewan is the next one. Ewan's presence is absolutely fantastic, really. I think Ewan can come out here, stand here, look at us all and do not much else, really. And I think we would say, wow, that was pretty good. But he spoke as well, so that's pretty good. Interesting, the word avuncular, I shall be ever grateful for that, really. I think that describes a lot of what we're doing. We shouldn't be avuncular, because you do that with your nephews and nieces. Very, very interesting demonstration of the volume, where all of a sudden Ewan demonstrated what I think was the correct volume. All of a sudden, you don't have to speak like this. My suggestion is, why not? Why not? Next time, Ewan, stomp around a little bit. It's easier to turn down than it is to turn up, and I think that worked very, very well. And something that impressed me very much from Ewan's evaluation was addressing the content of the speech in some detail. I thought that was hopefully you found that useful as well. And I think that's good. It showed that you've really been thinking carefully about it. The meeting all in all, we're a little bit thin on the ground. I'm sure that William and Aaron can probably address this one. All of us can do something about that. Why don't we each bring one person with us? Then we would double our numbers, as easy as that. But thanks to everybody who's worked very hard to make it a good meeting. And Mr. President, over to you.